One of the more interesting arguments for the supernatural that I've heard is based on ghosts. On more than one occasion, I've been asked how I account for the experiences and encounters with ghosts that numerous people have had, especially those shown on the TV show Ghost Hunters. As one individual put it to me, if the religious definition of souls does not exist, if there is no afterlife, then how is it possible that all of these images and videos of ghosts exist? To me, ghosts and God kind of go hand in hand. This may seem like one simple question, but there are several assumptions built into it. First of all, let's talk about Ghost Hunters. It may come as a surprise to my fellow skeptics, but I actually do enjoy the show. It hasn't made me a believer in ghosts, but it does have entertainment value to me. It's fun to hear the stories and see the historic sites they visit, and, well, there's Chris Williams, too. Since I've seen probably every episode, I'm familiar enough with the show to know a few of its flaws as well. A segment from the live Halloween episode in 2008 became very controversial and cost the show some fans because of how a ghostly pull on one of the host's jacket collars seemed to correlate with his hand suspiciously reaching into his jacket pocket, a grand total of 3 separate times. Another incident with a chair moving across a floor in a room caught my eye because of how a light source above the door seems to be blocked out at the same time, possibly suggesting a cable or something rigged off camera to make the chair move. Whether or not these events were faked, the crew on Ghost Hunters do a fair amount of debunking to their credit. But for every natural explanation they catch that debunks a supernatural theory, how many more slip by them? There is also the damning fact that stories are just stories and a TV show is just a TV show. These are not credible lines of evidence because although I'm sure millions of people have likely witnessed things they can't explain, it does not follow that ghosts therefore exist. And for that matter, what are ghosts? The common theme for centuries has been that they are the lost souls of the dead, wandering the earth until they find their way to the afterlife. The problem with this is that souls in the afterlife are just as rooted in faith as ghosts, and there is no evidence for either one. Some of these ghost hunters propose that ghosts are somehow made up of energy that leaves a person's body after they die, and becomes imprinted on an object, place, etc. Although I find this to be sheer speculation, it is one idea of ghosts that need not invoke the supernatural. There is always the possibility that what we think of as ghosts are just a natural phenomenon we don't yet understand. However, I want to take this even further. Supposing we do have souls and there is an afterlife, how would this necessitate the existence of a god? Religions do often involve souls in an afterlife as part of the belief structure, but they are not ideas exclusive to religion. Souls in an afterlife could not point to any specific religion because even polytheistic religions like Hinduism believe in souls, and even non-theistic religions like Buddhism have some idea of the afterlife. Not to mention how near-death experiences always reflect the personal or cultural religious views of the one having them. They can't all be right, but they certainly can all be wrong. In short, there's not much of a case for ghosts, and because they are almost as ill-defined as God, their existence really wouldn't have any bearing on whether or not a God exists too.